Watching Nvidia. So today, Nvidia earnings come out when after the bell?
Yeah, so at 4:20 today, and then they had the call at 5 p.m.
All right. So today we're talking about Nvidia. We're talking about the earnings after the bell, and in the meantime, well, we're going to talk about how it's important, right? And what to do with it, and how it impacts the whole thing, and how if they say bad things, it could destroy all of our retirements.
Not likely.
Not likely, but in the
Eh,
meantime, the market is completely flat. S&P is up, down 2 points. The rut's down 3 points. Oil is like down 1 penny. The QQQs are up point 0.3 points. So the market is completely flat. The Dow, the DIA is down 1 point. Gold is down though, 0.76%. Um, and there are fewer stocks today making an all-time high or a near weekly high either, a 52-week high. So
Yeah, and look at
that's
that. Look at that
interesting.
VIX just sitting there, 15.
The VIX is at 15.4, again, not moving at all today. And the OVX has come down considerably. OVX is at 46.
Yes. Yep.
That's
Absolutely.
interesting. It's been in the 60s. Now it's at 46. I don't know. What are you thinking? It's time to get
Well,
back into oil?
it's starting to challenge our secondary position of the month in oil. Not in a
Ah,
bad way. We talked about this on our oil call,
okay.
right? And I not necessarily said I would get into. I usually don't double dip. There's a time to double dip. And we did it for more of to see what it would look like, right? So this was actually the second part of the trade was really just paper, and we're looking to see how it moves. So you want to see how different situations at different times it moves, right?
I see.
So
Okay, so you guys put one trade on and it worked and you took it off, you took profits,
we
and
did,
now then you got back in.
yes, as an example, right? And I
Right.
said to our students, I said, hey, I would be out of this trade and I'd be looking to get in the next month. So I don't typically, there's a time and a place to get in and do a double dip per se, right? And even sometimes people do three times.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a good example of how oil can move and get in different environments.
Yes.
Yeah.
So your trade now, this trade is in trouble?
No, no, it's just I would say I like to use a analogy of a train track. It's in the caution area, I
Ah,
would say.
okay.
Yeah.
All right. And you still have 22 days left expiration,
Hmm.
so plenty of time.
Plenty of time.
Um, but yeah, it does look like oil is going to probably retreat a little bit from here. Looks like all the hostilities are off for now, unless
For now.
I think the only one, maybe Israel if they do something. Um, Hopefully, Iran and Oman have come up with some sort of deal. It's probably it probably has something to do with like a toll to get through. And so if they get money, then they'll let people through. And I don't know where that leaves the US.
And there are talks about some negotiations again. I think through Pakistan was in the
Yeah,
news.
and
So
Pakistan's still trying. They're like, oh,
yeah,
let us be important.
let's not blow up the whole area.
Um, yeah, but I like, Trump backed off. He's like, yeah, I can't bomb these guys anymore. It's like I've already bombed as much as I can. I don't know what else to do.
Well, now he's
So
messing with Canada. So,
yeah, it's like
yeah,
I have to move the attention over to something else.
yeah,
Um, and South Korea at the same time, like everywhere. Like my gosh. And
yeah,
yeah, so there's another guy. Uh, oh, the head of the CIA is going to Russia. He's going to
yeah. There's
Moscow.
all sorts of questions about why and when and why now, right?
There's so much going on with this
So much
administration.
going on.
It's like a job just to stay on top of everything.
Yeah,
My goodness.
but we
Um,
trade the market we have. That's
we trade the
what we're
market we
here
have,
to
and
do.
today's market is completely flat.
Yeah, I think the market's really struggling for direction right now. A lot of it is hinging, of course, on what we're talking about today, Nvidia.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I did not know this. I don't know if you knew this. So Nvidia was founded in 1993. Of course, the CEO is Jensen Huang. right? Um, Famous for graphic chips used in video games. So it really was, they had no really direction about where they would be. They had no plans to be where they are today,
Mm.
really.
No, no,
So
yeah, you're right. Yeah, they were
yeah,
totally into graphics cards for
for video
computers
games.
for people who wanted to make their own computers mainly. I mean, you can go to like a Dell and buy a computer off the shelf, or you can make your own, and then you would want to get the top-notch Nvidia chip because it just makes all the graphics on your games faster, better, clearer.
Right.
So that's what they were known for a long time.
Yeah. So it was interesting to actually, we just throw NVIDIA around and you don't, if you really go back to the history, it's video games that were accidentally became, by
Yeah,
accident, they became the supplier, right?
yeah, and it's like, so there's a bunch of different industries. There's also the Bitcoin mining industry,
Hmm.
So they're like, oh, okay, we have all these servers that are mining Bitcoin. We can turn that into a data center. Okay, we'll make more money that way. So, a lot of these companies, they switched over. They're like, we have the electric hookup, they have everything ready to go, and let's just turn it into a data center so that these models can start training on stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's more than one industry that has made money off of AI.
So yeah, it really is quite interesting the reach that they have. You know, GPUs, they say AI chips and systems. And then I was looking at this. I don't know if you know about this, but CUDA is NVIDIA's software platform that allows developers to program NVIDIA GPUs. So
Yes. Hmm.
that is a lot of people we don't talk about this, right? So it's a tremendous reach. And then, all the companies, all the hyperscalers are buying all this, right? So Microsoft, Amazon, Google, Meta. So it's just incredible reach by this company.
Yep. Uh,
So,
I mean, they are
yeah,
the largest company in the world, right?
yeah,
Over 5 trillion market cap. The whole AI trade hinges on what they have to say because they are the architect of everything. They are basically the central bank of AI
yeah,
because they have invested in basically every other company out there. They've put money into it in exchange for, okay, here's money, but you have to buy our chips kind of thing, right? So they're like buying customers, but they're also pushing these all other companies forward. Um, and so some people call it the circle financing, some people call it
yeah.
incestual financing, because they're all just, you know, giving money to each other so that they all can make
It's like a
money.
secret club, and they're like, "Hey, can I borrow from you?" And yeah, I'll do this for you. And here you are, just spinning around.
Exactly.
Very
Yeah.
interesting. So, a couple of stats for them. They said their expected sales are 92 billion, roughly double for the same quarter last year.
So they're gonna
So,
supposedly that's what they already reported, or are they going? That's what it's
this is what's
expected.
expected.
Expected. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, today they're expecting a 5.5% move, about $280 billion in value.
A
Um,
5% move. Right now, the stock is trading at $2, 210.
right.
So 210 times 0.05, that's about 10, $11 move.
Hmm.
So that would take us to 220, where it was roughly about 4 days ago.
Right. So we'll also talk about different ways that you can, different approaches, I would say, using options about what you would do. Right.
Yeah. Now, the funny thing is, I mean, I'm looking at the chart and it is higher than it was a year ago, right? If we look at the 1 year chart, about a year ago, 52 weeks or so ago, it hit a low of 164. And then I think in March, April, May, somewhere in May, it hit a high of 236, and now it's back to 210. Um, so it hasn't done too much. And in the last year, you know? I mean, it had several years where it was flying high, right? Like, oh,
Mhm.
100%, 200, 500%. This year, not so much. It was basically dead money until May
Right.
when it started jumping above 200, and then it stayed there. And now it seems like it's found some support on the 200-day moving average, and the 200-day is about 195. So even if we drop, you know, 5% or even 10%, you'll probably bounce off of that 195 level somewhere today. If depends on the earnings. Depends on what they
Yeah,
say,
it
right?
does. And so they beat earnings expectations 10 of the last 11 quarters. So it's almost this is priced for perfection. I mean, there's so much expected um,
And
that this
and
company will do, right? I mean, it's just um,
and they've been hitting it.
they have been, right? And I think surprising people, and that's what will really move the needle, I think, if they actually do surprise the expectations.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting. And it said also, but stock fell the day after earnings, six of the last eight quarters. So four straight. That's interesting.
So they beat earnings, but then the
Yep.
stock still drops.
Still fell. Yep. Still fell the day after earnings, six of the last eight quarters, and actually four straight.
So what are you saying? You're saying that we're gonna it's gonna be down tomorrow? Market's gonna be down tomorrow.
Of course who knows, right? But looking at the past, I think that it could follow that, right? If history does tell, we're kind of it's priced so much to such a degree of height that I think that it will follow
So let
suit.
let's let's get this straight. Okay.
Yeah.
So um four or four out of the last several times and six out of the last 10, no matter what they say, the stock goes down.
Yes.
But out of those 8, 10 times, they've actually done well. They've actually said that they're making more money and their margins are fine. And even this time, they're expected to say that we're doubling our revenue, doubling our sales from last year.
Right.
And so they can't, I mean, you can't get much better than that.
Right. And I think that has been happening for a while now. Right. It's just you become the
Yeah.
darling, you are expected to do so well and to, forever, right? There's going to be some point that they are going to disappoint.
Yeah.
That has to happen,
And
right?
so
And I think that's how we're headed here.
even if they say good things, they go down.
Yeah.
And they are such a large part of the Nasdaq 100 and the S&P 500 that it's going to take the market down with it.
Hmm.
So even if they say great things, they're still going to go down. But if they say bad things, then oh boy, look out,
Yeah,
you
look
know?
out, really, because it is the heart of the AI trade. And I think that that's the reason we've seen it kind of go sideways for so long because it's expected to be so good. I mean, it's just, like you said earlier, that it did have good moves early on, right? Um, but each quarter that goes by now, it's like, okay, we expect it's like you're A student, right? We expect you to be there all the time. And then if you fall and don't have an A, it's like, oh, what's changed? What's happened? It's the same type of idea
Yeah, but
in a way.
for the student, like you don't you get, you miss one A, it's not like you're not going to college, right?
True, yeah, true. But I mean, along those lines of thinking, though, that's what we expect NVIDIA to always outperform.
Okay, yeah, but when they don't get that A.
No,
I
it's
mean, the
much
whole
different.
school's about to burn
Yes.
down.
That's the kind of situation we're in right now.
Okay. So how do we make money off of this?
All right. So, for the trader, right, we're essentially you have three outcomes, right? And nothing new here, right? We're gonna hope we're gonna see if NVIDIA can go up, it can go down, or it can not move much, right? And as sellers, we don't want it to move too much. I think as a buyer of an option, you want it to move generally, right? So
Hmm.
there's different things we could do. All right. So we'll start with If you think Nvidia is going to go up, all right, what can you do? Well, obviously you can buy the stock,
Hmm.
right? You can buy calls if you think it's going to go up. True.
Yeah, there was actually
Okay.
somebody, an institutional buyer yesterday. They came in with thousands of 220 calls for
Hmm.
Friday expiration. So they basically it's a bet on earnings. And they're saying that
Yeah, it is.
it'll get, or it'll go higher. I don't know if it'll get to 220, but even if it goes up somewhat, they should still be able to make something out of that.
They could get out of that trade, right? In a positive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it'll,
So
um,
it's what is it right now? It's two.
210, 58, 210, 60.
So yeah, you're another 10 points roughly. I mean, a little under, a little over nine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but it's
Um,
down 2.5 today. So
today.
they were closer yesterday. So yeah, it's probably better off to buy that trade today. It'd be cheaper today.
But we don't know, right? Until earnings.
Yeah,
It could be,
yeah.
you could be
Hmm.
really down in that trade for a little bit and it's going to move all around.
Yeah,
Um,
but the problem with that with buying options is that everybody knows about earnings and everybody knows what's going on, and so the volatility is already super sky high baked in,
yeah.
right?
And then
Um,
after the earnings, they call it IV crush. It just
it
comes
just
all the way
comes
down.
out.
Yeah.
And that's
So you,
why and that's why people like to sell options into these um, because of just the IV crush. So even if you are wrong on direction with the volatility coming out, you could probably still make money on the options that you've sold if
mhm.
they lose enough value and in the train doesn't like run you over,
Right, right.
right? Um, so, but based on what we've said earlier, if I was going to be buying options, I'd probably just want to be looking at buying some puts, not some calls.
Based on how it's reacted the last, I would say, well, you have four straight quarters, right? Of here are the percentages: minus 1.8%, minus 5.5%, minus 3.2%, and then minus 0.8.
Okay,
So,
so the two of those
yeah,
are not like not a big
two
deal.
are kind of even, but
Yeah,
generally to the downside.
yeah. I mean, if you're buying puts and with a 5% move expected, and if you're buying puts, you are paying way too much.
Hmm.
And on a 3% move, even on a 5% move, you probably will not make any money buying puts into this.
Yeah.
And so you really need a big move in order to make any money on that. So if that's what you're
I
saying
mean,
is
you're
like,
really hinging on a disappointment here.
yeah, so I mean,
Uh,
I
you
take that
know,
back. I would not be buying puts based on what you just told me
Yeah,
to.
I mean, but even though I have a generally a downward bias to this because of the expectations, I agree with you. I just don't think there's going to be such a drastic move. I mean, it
Hmm.
would really have to be a total, I'm not say total, but a pretty good fail on the earnings for it to go down a lot.
Yeah. I think one of the things that everybody has been waiting for is for their margins to get smaller. You know, how much money they make per chip or per sale or per
Hmm.
revenue. They had margins of 80%. So, I mean, they can charge whatever they want for these chips, and 80% of that is just pure profit
Hmm.
because they're the only game in town. But that's starting, everybody's like, oh, that's going to change, that's going to change, that's going to go down. And so if the margins go down, then the future revenues of the company and the future profits will go down. And so then the analysts will re-rate the stock and say, oh, the PE multiple is too high. We need to change the PE multiple. And then they'll reduce the expectation of what the stock is going to be. And then the stock will then down, right?
Yeah,
That's kind of how normally the stuff works. But um, there was an announcement, I believe it was just yesterday.
I know where you're going with this. Yep.
Yeah, from OpenAI, who's using chips that they bought from Broadcom, which is a more like a bespoke a
Hmm.
chip maker, like they can make chips whatever you want. Like Nvidia is like, here, this is a chip, go use it. And Broadcom is like, okay, we'll make whatever you want. Um, and so OpenAI went to Broadcom and said, we want to make our own chips. They're like, okay, sure. And they said supposedly that they made their own chip called jalapeno.
Jalapeno. Okay.
Jalapeno
All
is the
right.
name of the chip, and it is as good, if not better, than the Nvidia chip. And if that's the case, then OpenAI and Anthropic are the two number one, number two buyers of these chips. And so if OpenAI has a different source, that's going to very much hurt NVIDIA in the long term.
I mean,
Now,
naturally, competition is going to come into this.
competition is going to come in,
It
but
always does.
again, so that might be an issue, or it might not be because NVIDIA already has a backlog for so long, and they're like, okay, OpenAI, if you don't want to buy them, we got lots of other people that have been starving and that want to buy them, so we'll sell them to somebody else. So that might not be an issue, but if there is more than one player, then obviously then price comes into point, and so then the margins might come down, right?
Correct.
Because then they're like, well, we don't want to lose you as a customer, so how about we give you a discount kind of thing. But I don't know if that's going to work because I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. But Samsung is also in the chip business, and like Elon Musk and SpaceX have bought tons and tons of uh, chips from them to use their Grok. And seems like Grok is making a lot of improvements recently.
Hmm. Do you
So we
know? Do you know? I do not know. Primarily Micron. Who do they supply to?
Micron surprised everybody. But
Everyone.
they are more memory, right? They're different. There's Micron and then there's SanDisk. Both of them are the two big players in the memory space,
Hmm.
but they provide different types of memory. So I think Micron is used more in um, like running the ALMs, and the SanDisk one is also more in training or something like that. I'm not exactly sure, but they're both different. They
Right.
both have different memory chips. So they're not in the processing chip, they're in the memory chip.
Memory. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So those two, like you mentioned, they've been up like 600%, 500%. And so they took over for Nvidia. Like I remember a couple of years ago, we were in our investor or like our trader meeting
Oh
for
yeah,
the
the video
fund.
was like, whoa. I mean, it was ripping, and people were just,
Yeah.
yeah,
I remember, and we were in our meeting for the fund, and
yeah.
Chuck had mentioned Super Micro.
Oh, so, yeah, right.
Yeah, that
It
thing
went
was
up
up
like
like
crazy amounts and then
800%.
dropped another day because of accounting,
I
all
don't know
sorts of
I don't
things.
remember
Yeah,
what happened, but it was like up because of all this AI stuff because everybody was looking for the next Nvidia, right? It was
yeah,
like, oh, what's next?
yeah.
What's next? And I was like, phew, just skyrocketed. And then it came back down. And then this year this year and last year we've had these memory names, like a
Hmm.
super sky high. And they're saying the same things that Nvidia is like, oh, we can't make enough of these memory chips. We're gonna charge you more. Even though our costs are not going up, we're gonna charge more and we're gonna make more money and margins are super sky high. So that's why, like Apple is saying, "Oh, hey, we need to go to China to buy memory chips, please, because it's too expensive to buy them from Micron and SanDisk." And so when they said that, both of those stocks dropped
Right.
considerably. So interesting. But even then, if Apple is allowed to use the Chinese chips for memory, it'll be only for products made and sold in China.
Right, which
So
is big.
yeah, I mean it's so big, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so but uh so so crazy. I was watching a video. My father sent me a video. He's like, "Oh, you gotta watch this. You gotta watch this. Very important video." I'm like, "Oh God, what is this?" You know. But it turned out to be pretty good. It was a guy who was relating the subprime mortgage mess to what we have now going on with Nvidia.
Okay.
And so basically the idea was that, 2008 was when Lehman collapsed and when the market started going nuts and all of that. But that's not when the whole problem started. The problem started about 2 years earlier. And the problem with the subprime mess was everybody was going out and buying houses, hoping that the real estate would keep going up so that they could refinance or sell their adjustable rate mortgage.
Hmm.
right? Before they had to start paying for the because they you buy a you buy the house, you get an adjustable rate mortgage, which is very cheap for the first like 4 or 5 years,
And
and
then it
then the
balloons on you.
and then the balloon goes up, and then you
Yeah.
can't afford it. So
Yeah.
they had to either refinance it or sell the house before that happened. And as long as prices of houses were going up about 15%, you can do that. And so, according to this guy, the nothing changed in the underlying, right? People still needed houses. People still, were getting mortgages and all that stuff. But the only thing that changed was the prices of the houses did not appreciate enough. So they needed them to appreciate 15%, but instead of that, they only appreciated 8%.
It was
So
just enough to slow everything.
it completely messed everything up,
Yeah.
and that slowed everything down and put a gum in the works. And that's what led to the whole toppling of everything. So it wasn't even like that they were wrong. They were right. It just didn't go up enough. Right. And because everybody was mortgaged to the hilt and all that, then everything just came toppling. And then the government had to step in and say, okay, here you go. We're going to bail everybody out. Over here, we have a similar situation with NVIDIA and the hyperscalers. Um, and the hyperscalers, which are the big guys like um,
Meta.
Facebook
Yep.
and Google and Microsoft,
Amazon.
Amazon, these guys have committed to over $2 trillion worth of spending. And they're spending it on chips, they're spending it on data centers, they're spending it on electricity build out and all this stuff to do this. And so they have given um, NVIDIA orders, right? They've given NVIDIA orders, they've given Micron, SanDisk, all these other guys, they've given Samsung and who else, all these memory names. They've given them all orders, and these orders are basically locked in. So it's like, hey, if I, if I don't pay you, or if I can't take the product, like if I don't need your chips, I still have to pay you. So all these chip names are like, oh, we're good. We're getting the guaranteed money, right?
Yep.
We're guaranteed money. And then these guys are then going out and they're borrowing money on the private markets to then spend and buy all this stuff. Like you could take a look at Oracle, right? Oracle is the one that has agreed to build out most of a lot of these data centers, and they don't have the money. So they're going out into the private markets and they're borrowing bonds and they're borrowing debt. The problem is who is giving them the money, right? Right now, they're okay. But if the, let's say the AI
Hmm.
does not continue to appreciate and get better, just like like the houses, we needed them to go up 15%. Well, what if the AI doesn't continue to get better, even though we're still spending all this money? Then will the bondholders and the bond buyers continue to buy these bonds to sustain the build out?
Yeah. And it comes down to trust.
And yeah, it comes down to
I mean,
trust.
really.
But one thing that he mentioned that's different this time is that the government is fully leveraged. The debt is astronomical, more than ever before. The deficit is more than, outsized, and the treasuries are continuing to go up and up and up in price because the US government is running out of buyers for its own debt.
Right.
So,
And
and
even with
G
them buying their own, it's not
Mhm.
moving.
Yeah, and so like Jim Rogers has said this for years that, this time when the market drops, there ain't nobody coming to rescue. They can't. They don't have any money. Everybody's borrowed up to the hilt. And so we're looking at a really weird situation. And so what this guy was saying is that, the parallels are there between the subprime market, and it's just the same thing happening over again. Um, but what he could not predict was when. Like, when is it going to stop?
Right. Is this next week? Is this next year? Is it 2 years from now? 3 years from now?
Yeah.
All we do know is that we're headed the wrong way fiscally, right?
Yeah.
Because you
Yeah.
always have to have a buyer, and maybe they're doing it through like I don't know. We talked a little bit about through tokenization, where they offer this debt throughout the world, right? They're looking for buyers, so maybe you do it through stable coins, right?
Uh,
Where other countries cannot, right now they can't buy. Like everyone's got an iPhone, right? And then you're able to buy the U.S. debt through your iPhone in another country. It could be that much easier.
for
Am I seeing
citizens,
this wrong? Yeah. Buying
yeah, I mean,
bonds,
yeah.
US
So I mean,
bonds.
other countries can buy the debt. That's not a problem. But
Right, but maybe down to the individual
but if you want to sell it to just the
company.
general 8 billion people in the world, be like, okay, all of you can buy, U.S. treasuries. That would be,
I mean, it is going to be backed by the US dollar.
uh,
So,
yeah.
maybe I mean, that's the whole thing. They're trying to grow themselves out of this and
Well,
and
that's what they're saying.
bring that buyer right to the market.
Yeah. I mean, that would be pretty desperate, I would think. I
Yeah,
mean,
it's
you need
kind
you
of
need
get
you
there.
need every person in the world to help
Well, I
you.
mean, we've been going to they've been offering these bond auctions forever, and now there's really no buyers.
I mean, so the biggest buyer is Japan. The biggest foreign holder of treasuries is Japan, and they're not buying anymore
Right.
because they have
So,
issues. The second one is South Korea, and Trump is kind of needling them, and they canceled the Marines. The Marines canceled the joint military exercises with South Korea. Um, Trump is actually going to North Korea to visit his friend. So like, I okay.
yeah, I mean, it goes down to
I,
the weeds, right?
I've lost as to what the heck is going on. It
Yeah.
doesn't make any sense.
Well, the
Um,
US dollar needs to be, we are the world reserve currency, and are we
yes,
going to continue that, right? Um, I think that's the question.
that's always been the question.
It's
Because
always been the question, but yeah.
that changes everything for us here. Our
Hmm.
equities will go down, our real estate prices will go down, uh, everything will get more expensive. It's
But
gonna be
I think they're right in that thinking, like how maybe this time they can't save it, right? They need to refinance this debt, and if those rates are high, they cannot.
well, that's the whole wish of AI, right? So
Yes.
AI is supposed to make us so much more productive that the GDP continues to expand, and so the tax rate expands that the government can then pay the debt. That's a big wish.
Yeah, my question is always like, okay, that's first and foremost a huge bet, right, to the future. And if we look at our country, and I'm not saying this in a bad way, what do we really make now?
AI.
Well, think about it. I mean, it
AI
does scare me
slop.
to a degree that China is all, I mean, they have the manufacturing know-how and the ability to manufacture everything quickly. And I can't say that the US is there right now.
They are tops in manufacturing. They are tops in renewable energy. They are tops, becoming tops in AI,
Mhm.
in the models, and maybe even the chips. They're catching up on the chips. Um,
So it's maybe a push that it's a race we cannot lose.
yes, and so I mean, it's been that way. They've been saying it.
Right.
Everybody's been saying that. Oh yeah,
Mhm.
we're in a race. We're in a race. We can't lose. We can't lose. But the computer models from China continue to catch up. And so what did the administration, what are they thinking about? They're like, oh, well, we won't allow Chinese AI in the US.
Right.
That
How do you
that's
control AI though? That's the big question. I mean,
Uh,
as it gets better and better, how do you,
yeah. So
that's the biggest question,
that's
right?
definitely one aspect. Um, and so they've also stopped, they don't allow any Chinese robots in the US. So you can't have a Roomba anymore. You can't go buy a Roomba because that's made in China.
Oh, I did not know that. I didn't even think about whether
Yes.
Roomba was Chinese or not.
Yeah, almost every
Well,
robot
I
up till
mean,
now.
I honestly, I didn't. I was just like, okay, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, up till now, almost
Uh,
every robotic thing has been made in China. The little doll toy or little doggy that you buy
yeah.
for your kid, it's all made in
Did you
China.
see the robotic Olympics?
I saw
They had
part of
it?
it,
Yeah.
yeah. And I don't think it's like at this point it was funny because they're like falling down and they're running and la la la. But
It's funny till it's not. I
the
mean,
the
I think.
point of it is that there's so many different types of them that they already have, right? Like in the US, we're still waiting for Elon to come out with his one robot. Like who else is making robots in the US? Very few. But over there, they got so many companies that are already putting robots out there, all different types, and they're competing. There's so many of them that they can compete. And they had one that was they had like boxing, right?
Yeah. Lifting weights,
They
boxing.
got lifting weight boxing. They got
Yeah.
running. They're fast. The one,
Jumping. I saw the one where it jumped.
yeah,
High
the
jump. Yeah.
the one robot beat is faster than Usain
Usain
Bolt.
Bolt. Yeah.
So I mean, imagine going to war with these things.
Yeah. That's what concerns me is they have the manufacturing again, the know-how. And let's say we don't, but the ability, they've been, they've been manufacturing everything for decades
Yeah.
ahead of us.
The biggest thing with the people that were saying, "Oh yeah, China doesn't want to go to war," right? China doesn't want to go to war. They won't fight a war because they had that one child policy, right? And so every couple only has one boy, and they don't want to send that boy to war. Now, by now, that boy is probably too old to go to war anyway. But
Yeah. They
but
did change that though.
even still, yeah, but they still don't want to send their kids to war. And so that's the reason that China will not go to war and we're safe, right? But now you have a
They're
robot
robots.
that can punch, that can kick, that can run faster than any human. It can carry more than any human.
I mean,
Eh,
you can see just think of the drones ahead of us, right? They're the air version of robots on the ground, I think.
Well, Ukraine is already showing it in action.
Already, yeah. Yeah.
They got tanks that are self-driving. They have drones that are self-driving. They have dogs that are have rope
Robotic dogs.
that guns on them that can shoot. They also just created a drone aircraft carrier, ocean like a boat. It's a boat that drives by itself that drones can land on and take off on in the middle of the ocean.
Boy, boy, oh boy.
So it's yeah, sci-fi. Here we come.
Yeah.
The sci-fi channel should be like the number one channel in the world because everything they say is going to come natural. It's going to come true.
And it's not
So
changing, it's changing so fast, right? It's like we think of this stuff like, oh yeah, well, it's going to take a long time for this to happen.
no, we're looking
It's
at 3 to
happening
5 years. And
Yeah.
so maybe Nvidia is going to be all right, because
Hmm.
Nvidia is the chip that runs all this stuff for now.
They're in the game so fast and they're in the number one and maybe they will never be caught.
I mean,
Possibly.
I think, the guy, Jensen Huang, he saw the AI stuff coming and he pivoted, right? I think when he sees that the path that they're on is going to start changing, I think he'll pivot again. And he might get into other chips. Like they can easily do that, right? They can start making other chips and more advanced chips or even less advanced chips that are cheaper for robot dogs or robot
Well,
killer humans.
he's had several different ones already, right?
Hmm.
Blackwell and different ones.
Yeah, they keep coming out with new versions,
Yeah.
and upgrading, um, just so that it becomes. They got to keep upgrading. If you're an AI guy, you need to keep upgrading your chip. You can't just stay on the last chip. You gotta like get rid of that chip or sell it or whatever, and then buy the new one. You gotta keep
Yeah.
buying and buying and buying. So that's the one thing that I've been asking that nobody has an answer to. And the biggest thing is like, oh yeah, these scalers are spending so much money on this AI every year. Every year they're spending so much money. When is it going to end? Like when are they going to stop spending the money and actually reap the rewards? That's what nobody seems to know.
I hear a lot of this too, and you hear a lot of like, well, the need for compute can never stop, and I just can't wrap my head around that. Like the constant need for this.
Yeah,
It
I mean,
doesn't, maybe it doesn't end. Like, how does it not end? I
I
don't
mean,
know.
yeah, I mean, we're still in the early bottom of the first inning.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. Like me and you were talking just before the show, and we were talking about, oh yeah, Claude can now come control your computer automatically. It's just a setting now. Like before, you had to do things and to get that done, there was a way. But now it's a setting in Claude. They turned it
Mhm.
on a month ago, and so now you can turn on that setting and say, "Hey, Claude, you know, go take this bank statement, open up an Excel sheet, and fill it in for me using all this data," and it'll do it,
Within minutes, not even a minute.
right? And so that's like basic stuff. Now imagine every single thing we do is now run by an AI.
Right.
And so that's why I think the need is like, oh, we can't even imagine because there's going to be like 8 billion people or 10 billion people in the world. All of us are going to have our own personal AI that is going to use like thousands of other AI agents to do all the things that we want to do. Like we're not even going to be surfing the internet. The AIs are going to be surfing the internet for us.
If not
They're go-
already, they are.
they're going to buy stuff for us automatically. They're going to book stuff for us. They're going to do everything for us. Um, and, you know, eventually we'll be sending people out into space. And so we'll need more humans and they will also need AI. And so we'll have whole colonies of just AI robots that are working on, say, Mars to turn Mars into a hospitable environment so that humans can go live there, I guess. So if that's the end result or even part of the result, then yeah, the 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 spend is never going to stop. They're just going to keep spending.
Yeah, I mean, when you think about it that way, yeah, it's possible, right?
So it's a
But I
never
mean,
ending it's a never ending game unless of course we have some big war and then everything comes to a screech.
right.
Like
But
a
that's
halt.
that's always a possibility through everyone's life.
Yeah.
Nothing new there.
So, but
Wow, we got a little bit off topic from the video, but
did we get a little bit?
a
I think
little
it was
bit
like,
off,
oh, a little bit off. Yeah,
little
we
bit
just we
tangent.
just ended the world right there,
Yeah,
right? It was just
yeah.
okay,
There
but
you
Nvidia is going to go up or down 5%.
go.
5%
So
move.
back to NVIDIA, I think that it's going to be another case. This is what I'm thinking. I think it's going to be another case that it's priced for perfection. I think it will, I don't think it's going to, I think it's going to be, I would say a little bit of a nothing burger, I think. I think it will be, I think they're going to do well, but nothing like they're not going to completely overperform or out surprise anybody, nor do I think it's going to be really bad results.
Okay. And I mean, just a disclaimer, right? Nothing we say is financial advice.
I'm not giving financial
Um,
advice, yeah.
you know, so I guess based on your interpretation, okay, if it's a nothing burger, nothing much is going to happen, then yeah, selling maybe a straddle or a strangle, selling some
Yeah.
puts and calls might be the best move.
Hmm.
Because you get the vol crush and you get nothing happening. So um, that might be the best thing. I probably would not do an iron condor, right? Because then you're selling and you're
Yeah.
buying, so you lose out on that part. But yeah, if you're going in with just selling naked puts and calls, that would probably be the best way. But then you can get burned if it goes above. So um, it's very interesting.
It
Um,
is. It is. So going through the different things, right? We can just go. Okay. So if you think it's going to go up, right, you can buy the stock. You could buy calls. You could buy a call spread, right? You do
Mm-hmm.
that. Um, if you
Yeah.
think it's going to go down, you could short the stock, right? You could do that. You could buy puts. You think
Although
it's
they're
going to go
probably
down?
too expensive right now.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think
maybe.
buying might be too expensive right now.
Yeah.
And if you do buy, calls or puts, you probably want to do it just for the weekly expiration, so you're not paying for a lot of extra time decay. Because you just want that 1 day move and then you'll be out tomorrow.
All right. So, or you could do maybe a bear put spread. You could buy one of those.
I don't know. That's the same thing as, like an iron condor. I
Yeah,
probably
just to talk about the different options, right?
yeah, I mean it's an
What you could
option.
do.
I don't know if I would do it just because
Yeah.
you also have that long option that's also gonna have decay on it. So um to me, I think just the straddle right now, price is at 211. I mean, you sell the 210 put, 210 call. Let's take a look.
Yeah, let's take a look.
Um, all right. So you got 2 days to expiration.
So that is the 28th. So,
Yep. So the 210 call, the 210 put, you get $12.20 of credit
what expiration is that?
2 days from now, October
Yeah,
28th.
28th.
August 28th. Your break evens are 198 and 222. So roughly 5%, like you said. Um, and that's how they calculate it. If you ever wonder, like, oh, hey, I heard on TV and they were saying, oh, yeah, the option market is pricing in a move of 5%. How do they get that number? They do exactly what I just did. They look at selling a at the money call and at the money put, and they say, how far are the break evens on that trade? And, you know, so if that's not something, that's, that might be like a 50-50 shot there, right? So what if we do a little bit out of the money and we sell a 205 put? Oops. 205 put and a 215 call. And I keep messing up. All right. So you're getting about almost $8 for that trade. And
$8, okay.
your break evens are a little bit wider, not much. Not much because you didn't, I mean, so 223 and 197. So you didn't get much on that. So you'd probably have to go out even further. Um, let's go 205 or 200 put, 220. So over here, you're making about $3 on the call, $2 on the put, about a little less than that. So about $5.
Hmm.
And then your break evens, 224 and a half, 195.
Not bad.
And so about 15 bucks away on both sides.
Yeah.
And you make about $5. And your margin is going to be about 12 grand. So I don't
Two
know.
days.
Yeah. 1 day, really. You'll be out tomorrow.
Yeah.
You'll be out after earnings. So, um, yeah, I don't know. I think it's a bit, I wouldn't do it. I don't like it.
Yeah, there's a reason we don't trade earnings too much, right?
Yeah. I'm a little scaredy pants.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a very unknown. I mean, just look how we're talking about it.
Yeah. I mean, it could go up 15 bucks up or down.
It
I'm
could.
still making 500 on, let's say, 12,000. So 500 divided by 12,000, I can make 4% in a day. Um, I don't think it's worth the risk.
Yeah, I mean,
But somebody else might say, no, it's a great risk. I'll take it. So that's what makes markets. Somebody's out there selling this.
there are. Yep. There's always someone on the other side.
And somebody's buying. Like somebody's on the other,
Hmm.
somebody's selling it, somebody's
Some are
buying it
straight
too.
buying it. Yeah.
I mean, if you could buy it for 500, and if you hit, you're gonna make a ton. If you actually buy the 200 put and the 220 call, you pay about $500 for that trade, and that's all you're risking. You're risking 500 bucks. But if you hit it, yeah, it could be turning into several $1,000s. So
Yeah.
that might be a
It's
win.
kind of the roulette of trading in a way.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Interesting day. And so because of this, the market is basically flat, not doing anything. It's still
Yeah, it's
flat,
been waiting. I think it's been waiting all week, right?
Yeah.
And
People are saying, "Oh, we're waiting for inflation numbers." Well, they came out today,
yeah,
and
it didn't do
nobody,
anything.
nobody
No.
cared. It's This is the only thing that's going on.
Did a short little, drop down and right back up. I think,
It,
th this week we have what Warsh talks on Jackson Hole on Friday.
yeah,
Um, again, could be something, could be nothing.
probably nothing based on what I've seen from
Uh,
him. He doesn't like talking. He doesn't want to give
yeah.
any information, and so I think it'll be the other members that are be speaking and giving interviews that will give more color to what's actually going on
Hmm.
than
Is
him.
he actually required to speak though?
I think he has to give a talk. Yeah.
Yeah, it's required.
I
So he
mean,
can maybe
he could
make
say
a
whatever he
short
wants.
speech.
He could read the alphabet. He could read the dictionary if he wants to, but so uh, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens.
It
Again,
is going to be
are
interesting.
you in the video right now? Do you own the video?
No, but I do have a couple puts on it. Yeah,
Long or short?
sure.
Short puts going into
Hmm.
earnings. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I hope they're far enough because looks like what you told me, market's gonna go down. It's gonna go down tomorrow.
Yeah,
Doesn't
I
matter
may
what they
hope it. I
say.
may hope it reaches my put.
You want it? Okay.
Yeah, I like it.
All right.
Long-term guy. Not advice.
Not advice. No.
You got nothing
Uh,
on Nvidia? You don't own Nvidia?
I have not touched the video. No, I don't think I've
No.
ever owned it.
My wife owns it. You know that.
Yes. Yes, she owns it, and because of her, her mother owned it.
Watch, they're doing very well.
It came back up. Yes, they got
Yeah.
lucky. They
So,
did come back up. That was a scary ride for a little bit, right?
well, yeah. But again, selection is a big thing, right?
Yes.
Not like
Stock
you did this
selection is
on
big.
GameStop or something.
Super micro.
Yeah, super micro.
Cool beans. All right, so that's it. We're gonna wrap it up. NVIDIA
See what
earnings
happens.
after the bell. We got about an hour left, and then they'll have a, call. I'm sure all the news, all the financial news, will be all over it, and most likely is
Sometimes this really moves after hours, and then by morning when the market opens, it's like
it fizzles.
yeah, it
Yeah,
kind of fizzles. I mean that's a possibility.
yeah. So if it does, head lower, there's a good chance the market goes. If it goes down a lot, then the market will be down a lot.
Yeah.
So, and then that will, depending on what they say. Nobody's expecting anything really crazy yet. Um, but when they do, it's going to, yeah, the market's gonna like you said, once they change their tone and they
Hmm.
miss or they do something that doesn't sound as rosy and perfect, market's gonna go down 10, 15% really fast.
Really quick.
Yeah. So
So
be aware of that. All right, guys.
beware, buckle
Thanks.
up.
Yep. Mark saying thanks for the discussion. Good job. Thank you, sir.
Sure.
Thank you, everybody that was watching. And we'll see you on Friday for the next show. Good luck if you guys are in NVIDIA, and we'll see you then.
All right. Have a good day.